Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Type back in the video today. And today we're going to be talking about how Jalen Green is unstoppable. Over the last couple games, or you could say over the last 4 games for the Houston Rockets, or five, Jalen Green has been unstoppable. And mainly in the last 2 games for the Houston Rockets, Jalen Green has been a force, shooting amazing from three and scoring really well in low minutes because the Houston Rockets have been getting crushing defeats against teams. In the last 2 games, Jalen Green has only played 47 minutes, and he has scored 51 points. Last night in the Rockets win over the Los Angeles Lakers, 128-94, which I was at the game. I've been at the 2 previous games, my first 2 games of the year. And the Kings, Jalen looked great, but not as good as he looked against the Lakers. Jalen had 26 minutes against the Kings, shooting 55.6% from field goal and 60% from three and 83% at the free throw line. He had 2 rebounds and 2 assists with 23 points. If Jalen, look at the 3 previous games before that against the Kings, Hornets, and the Warriors, because the Rockets played 2 sets of games against the Kings. Against the Kings the night before, 36 minutes, the Hornets 31, and the Warriors 38. So in the last 2 games, if Jalen would have got the minutes he's been averaging like 31 or 32 minutes per game, which he only played 21 and 26. I think Jalen in the game against the Kings probably would have scored 30 or 31, something like that. And then with how hot he was against the Los Angeles Lakers last night, he probably would have scored near 40 points. He can, when the ball was in his hands and he was shooting the basketball, he was pretty much automatic. He shot 5 for 6 from three with 28 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists with 1 steal, and that was in 21 minutes. He scored 18 points in the first half and then scored 10 points in the second half and didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So it scored 10 points in the third quarter. When Jalen is in the mode that he's been in the last 2 games, it is unstoppable. It really is. And the tough thing about it is that he can be so inefficient because, look at before the 2 games before this, the Lakers and the Kings, before the Lakers and Kings game where he scored 51 points in only 47 minutes of basketball. That isn't even one full game. It's not even one full game. It's 1 minute shy. But he played against the King when the Rockets played the Kings. So the Rockets played the Kings twice. They beat him 107-89 on Saturday, and then they beat him 122-97 on Monday. But he played 36 minutes on Saturday against the Kings, where they won by 18 and only scored 10 points, had 5 assists. Jalen wasn't shooting the basketball a lot, though, and he was shooting terrible from the free throw line. That's another thing. There's been some games where he's shooting terrible at the free throw line. Like last night, he shot 25% at the free throw line. Then Saturday against the Kings, shot 28.6. But he wasn't shooting the basketball. He was shooting a little bit. I think he probably took like 8 or 9 shots in that ball game. But he was making good reads. He was making good plays on the offense, passing wise, and was just being a little bit of a selfless basketball player. But then the 2 previous games before that, against the Hornets in 31 minutes, scored 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And then against the Warriors, had 21 points with 9 rebounds. So there's only been a couple games where he struggled this season for the Houston Rockets. They've played 8 games. Those are just 5 examples of games for the Rockets this season. Against the Spurs, I think he scored either 23 or 24. Against the Magic, I think he only scored 10. So those are the examples of how Jalen has played throughout the Rockets' 7 games of the season. But when Jalen plays the way he did the last 2 nights against the Lakers and the Kings, scoring 51 points in 47 minutes, also getting 9 rebounds and 5 assists, he's unstoppable. He's unstoppable to guard. He's just a really good talent. And the only thing that really worries me about Jalen Green is how he can be so inefficient. Like one game, he can get you 28 points in 21 minutes, but then the next night, he'll play 36 minutes and only get you 10 points. But this season, Jalen has been mostly really good. He's averaging nearly 20 points per game with 19.6 points per game, averaging 3 assists per game with near 5 rebounds per game. It's like 4.7. On the season, he's shooting 46% from field goal and 45.5% from three, with a tough 71.4% at the free throw line, with averaging 4.3 rebounds per game and 2.6 assists per game. And he's averaging half a block per game and 1 steal per game. He hasn't been great on defense. He's pretty much been bad on defense, but he's been better on defense than he's been in the past for the Rockets. And Jalen Green over the last 5 games playing, the basketball he's played, and keep in mind the Rockets have won 4 straight, I think has improved the way this Rockets team has played basketball, because really over the first 3 games where the Rockets were losing, the first 3 games of the season, Jalen, I don't think he was playing his best basketball. I know he scored 21 against the Warriors and scored like 22 against the Spurs, but I believe he was not playing his best basketball in those 2 games. Only scored 10 against the Magic, but I believe even though Jalen only scored 10 against the Kings, he was still having a solid game. Over the last 4 games while the Rockets have had this winning streak, Jalen Green has played his best basketball, but just the worrying of the fact that, Jalen can be inefficient sometimes, so you could see him get into a slump, but I hope the way he's playing basketball right now can continue, because when he's playing basketball like this, it is truly great to watch. And he's shooting the ball lights out from 3 right now, going 5 for 6 yesterday from 3, and scoring this amount of points in low minutes, 23 and 26 minutes, 28 and 21 minutes. And this Rockets as a team is playing the way they're playing basketball as a unit is really fun to watch. Alperen Sengun is playing great basketball. Jalen Green is playing great basketball. Fred VanVleet has been inefficient on offense, but he is like top 10 in the NBA in assists. He had 10 last night, and he's been a little bit off from 3 this season. Jabari Smith Jr. got up to a rough start to the season, but he's starting to shoot the ball really well from 3, and he's starting to have a really good season. Who else? Dylan Brooks is having a great year defensively and offensively. He's averaging like 15 points per game. He's playing some good basketball for the Rockets. And Jayshawn Tate's having a really good season off the bench. And this team just got one of their best players back, Tari Eason, who missed the first. We're 4-3. We played 7 games. He missed the first 6 games of the season so far for the Houston Rockets. He's arguably one of their best rebounders, if not their best rebounder. Last night only played 14 minutes, had 9 rebounds for the Rockets and 9 points. He was on a minute restriction for the Rockets, and I really think that the way they played basketball. Look, they won 3 straight games in a row without Tari Eason, and then they get him back and beat the Lakers by 34 points. So. This Rockets team, I think they're underrated. I think people are underestimating them. I think they're a very fun team to watch, and I'm really excited for where my Houston Rockets are going. Use your thoughts in the comment section. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Rockets.